Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Caleb. I'm a software engineer, and I saw that MKBHD just recently put out a video about his hot tech takes. This had me really excited. I feel like Marquez is such a kind, thoughtful, good person. What I'm looking for in this video is insults and broken trust. That's what I'm looking for. If he gives any of this BS, the Pixel is still not half bad, I'm out. I'm here for the flaming hot takes. Let's see what we got.
Hey, what's up, guys? MKBHD here, coming at you from the basement studio. We're back.
Okay, first of all, we just gotta acknowledge this shot. All right, this jacket, fly as hell. This microphone looks like a USB microphone, like a cheap podcast microphone. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's phenomenal. It's so good. This is a legendary shot from his basement. We want MKBHD. We want more basement you. Like, this is great. This is a great version of MKBHD. Huge fan.
We're back. This is clearly not your regularly scheduled programming. Fortunately, I'm cooped up here because I finally caught COVID. 2 years, or I should say, COVID finally caught me.
I just need to make a PSA. If you have made it this far and you have not caught COVID, A, you're not special. That's the first thing that you need to know. 2, you also probably did catch COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing about COVID is the most spreadable disease in recent history is because people who don't know that they have it can have it and spread it. So just because you didn't feel like you had COVID doesn't mean you didn't have COVID. You probably did have COVID. So again, like, even if you haven't had COVID, you're still not special, but like, you probably have had COVID. So you're especially not special. You know, I'm a little toasty right now. You know, I'm in a hot takes kind of mood. So I hope I'm not shooting him down too early, but yeah, not special.
But while I am cooped up down here, I'm just kind of like, there's not much around, so I can't do much with the typical studio stuff. What can I do? And my idea that I had was I'm going to share some opinions that I have that could be considered hot takes, some spicy hot takes for you.
All right.
Real things that I actually believe
Heat it up.
At the end of 2022. So I haven't
Heat
done
it
this
up.
before.
Listen, I'm in Boston. It's 30 degrees outside. Heat this place up.
So number one, for me, crypto.
Oh, yes. Listen, I haven't even heard the end. I'm not sure. There's two ways he can go. There's the Warren Buffett, you know, crypto is worth turds. And then there's it's very underrated. And I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, which way do I think he can? See, I feel like MKBHD's friends, like his circle of friends on the podcast and everything, I feel like some of them would be crypto people. So he might have like influences. Yeah, but no, I feel like, I hope. I hope.
Investing is basically all just gambling. So look,
Yes.
I know
Yes. This is what I came here for.
I'm supposed to be the tech person. I'm very optimistic typically about technology, and so I'm always trying to see the potential future of Web3 and NFTs and the blockchain and Bitcoin and Ethereum and all this stuff. But I'd still consider myself a skeptic because it's so hard to see through all of the noise, is what I think is a charitable way of calling it. So much noise.
Okay, yeah. See, I'm with him here. I feel like here's the thing. I have lots of friends in crypto too. And it's not like you can't get past the noise, right? You can understand how the coins work and you can start to see the underlying value. But the problem is with this noise that he's talking about is that when people try and help me get past the noise, it's like they send me the MIT lecture series on cryptography. It's like, well, I don't have time to fundamentally understand cryptography to get value from this. Like, I need to see past the noise without taking a full 4 credit hours MIT college class. So yeah, I feel like maybe I'm even less of a skeptic than MKBHD here, because I think as soon as there is a coin that's used more, I can see it, but I'm with him on the noise.
Nice. I actually got asked recently on Dr. Mike's podcast, and it was funny. That's like one of the first times I've actually been asked publicly about crypto in a while, but he asked me about what I think about it, and here's what I said. Maybe the deed of your house will be an NFT one day. Maybe. I don't know. I have a safe with a deed in it. I feel like an old person when I say this, but like, I'm skeptic. I'm a skeptic.
I'm 1,000% with you.
Yeah. And that is still, for me, 100% true. Do I own some crypto still? Yeah, I do. How much?
Oh, see, hypocrite here. Yeah, he's not gonna say how much. I can tell you that much. I bet he was big on it at the beginning. I mean, he's got plenty of money. I bet that he has like 10 Bitcoin or something like that. At least. Maybe that's not a lot to him, but
doesn't really matter.
Yeah, didn't say. Surprising.
Because I can't use it for anything. I mean, you do see the headlines once.
That is a good point.
Once in a while, right? Every once in a while, a couple months, you'll see a headline about a new business that's like starting to accept Bitcoin or Ethereum or some crypto or something like that. I remember Tesla did this briefly, and then they stopped. And I was like, that headline surfaces every couple months, and I notice it, and I wait for the fallout and the continuation, but it just never happens. And so basically what's happened is all of this promise of like this decentralized world of the future of crypto and NFTs and all of this stuff, it's just promise for me, and it's all been reduced to like when I open my inbox and I see a new crypto pitch, every single time it's just about how much money you can make. If you invest, if you buy, the price goes up and then you make money. But what else? What other reasons? I need other reasons. So I'll continue.
I need the reasons. I need more reasons. I'm telling you. I love this, Marquez.
Hold the Bitcoin that I have. It's fine. It's not even that much. But I think for me, if I can't explain why something is more valuable other than lots of people are interested in it right now, so it's kind of hot, so the value is up. If there's nothing else to it, then it's as good as gambling to me.
Flaming hot. Coming in hot. I love it. I mean, because too, there was also the promise of it's not for being used in the way that MKBHD is talking about here. It's about store of value, right? It's like better than gold. And then there's the cryptographic algorithm. Behind it that allows it to be more stable than something like gold, which I think is an interesting premise. But it seems to have lost value pretty one for one with the US stock market. So that also kind of sketches me out in terms of being a store of value. I would prefer my store of value to at least not have the same cycles as the main other investment that I have. So I don't know enough about the algorithm to really comment on that. Maybe gold is worse, but it doesn't seem like it has really held up to its promise on that front either. So listen, I'm one for one. I'm with him on this one.
So okay, number two. My number two hot take is actually just that TikTok and YouTube
should merge. That's my hot take. That would be so funny to me if it would be enormous, just YouTube, Google buys TikTok. Now you've got new app called UTalk. Long videos, short videos. I kind of want that now.
And will coexist. They'll both be completely fine.
That's not even a take. That's an observation.
This one's just a little less spicy than the others. But I mean,
Yeah,
every
it
time I
is.
get asked about TikTok, one of the biggest questions I hear a lot is like, should YouTube be worried? You know, the massive, massive rise of TikTok over the past few years, especially with the pandemic, has been gargantuan. You feel like it's unavoidable that this overlap, that TikTok just comes up and just starts eating YouTube's lunch. But I think the key thing still for YouTube and TikTok is they are such different use cases that they don't overlap at all. I mean, a tiny bit maybe of your time, but almost.
Really? That's interesting. I mean, I definitely see what he's saying in terms of, you know, if you're searching for a video on how to fix your car, like you're not going to do that with TikTok. If you're looking for funny videos about baby goats, then obviously TikTok would be the main one. But I feel like there's some overlap in the middle. So, yeah, I'll let him finish.
YouTube to sit down and actually spend some time watching a video that you either searched for or was recommended to you on the homepage and you chose it to watch it. You spend more time per video on YouTube. It's got a whole search engine attached to it. So you'll find videos based on what you're interested in. And TikTok is like, I'll sit down and I'll have like 2 minutes or something and you'll just open it up and scroll.
2 minutes? Who watches TikTok for 2 minutes? That's masochistic. That's like, what did you do today? I watched TikTok for 2 minutes and I had one half of an M&M. I don't know about that. I mean, I know he's exaggerating, but I feel like for, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like for a lot of people, you do still spend a lot of time on TikTok, and that could have been time spent watching YouTube.
You just get that quick dopamine burst, that quick adrenaline boost, that instant gratification, and you never actually choose the videos you want to watch. It just gets sort of served to you. So it kind of reminds me of like YouTube and Netflix. YouTube is the world's...
Okay, hold on now. I feel like here's the thing. Netflix is like, it's the movie industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's actors and writers and producers and all kinds of, like, there's people who make like a different style of content. Where, I mean, I feel like TikTok and YouTube are both just the creator economy. And I feel like especially, you know, I think this is the thing, especially with creators are going to be thinking about creating content for probably both platforms. Like, you might have one that's more obvious and start with that one. But at the end of the day, big creators are not going to be creating for YouTube and Netflix at the same time, but they're definitely going to be creating for YouTube and TikTok at the same time if they can. So, yeah, I mean, I think that obviously YouTube is going to be fine. You know, boohoo them. They lost, you know, a couple $1 million on the edges. But this is what I'm hoping for. I'm really hoping that it challenges them to innovate in the ways that matter, to where they like differentiate themselves on creating better creator tools, you know, or easier communication, like easier to socialize within the app. Like, why does the YouTube comment section still suck so much? Like, that's the kind of thing that I hope this competition forces between the two companies. So I hope that they just stay at an infinite stalemate. But they're definitely competitors. So, yeah, disagree on this one.
That's why I think TikTok's also just going to have a huge separate pie. It's not taking a slice of YouTube's pie. It's just a new pie. And I think with YouTube Shorts, YouTube responded pretty correctly in also offering a competing product to TikTok, because, you know, it is related. And they also managed to beat TikTok's monetization model like right off the bat very quickly. They offer revenue sharing as of either right now or they're about to start, where TikTok is still...
I'm surprised TikTok hasn't done a better job of paying creators. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm hoping that this is the kind of stuff that the competition forces them to do. And they're not just getting the every last minute of just, you know, headlocked to the screen from people who aren't even enjoying their time. So we'll see.
Still stuck on the creator, you know, pool that everyone draws money from. So bottom line, they're going to be fine. They're separate pies, and you can stop asking me that. That's not that hot of a take, actually. Okay,
yeah,
number 3.
Yeah, you're right. It's not hot at all. But I do disagree, but it's not a hot take.
Number 3. Regular people don't care about panel gaps.
I don't even have a car. I just have a bike because I live in a city. And would I care about panel gaps? Probably not. I'll find out. See if he convinces me.
You hear this in the enthusiast community and in reviews a lot. Is oh my god, the panel gaps. The build quality in this car is terrible. The gap between the panel here on the hood and on the door is bigger than this gap between these panels, and it's smaller than the gap between these panels. It's so inconsistent, it's jarring, it's a poor build. And that's actually true. That's actually true about Tesla's cars. They're much less consistent than the manufacturers who have been established and who have learned to refine their processes over the past 50, 100 plus years. But this to me reminds me of, I'm sure there's an equivalent in the smartphone world where like reviewers notice this. Maybe it's like refresh rate on screens. I don't know. Reviewers notice this and really care about it and harp on it a lot. But guess what? At the end of the day, people are still buying Teslas, and it's just because the panel gaps are so low on the list of things that you think about when you're buying a car that it happens to still be fine. Like this is similar with McLaren. McLaren is notorious for obviously other electrical issues and build quality issues, but McLarens are all these beautiful hand-built sports cars, and you often will see sizable gaps, sizable differences in panel gaps on McLarens. But guess what? People still love their McLarens because
yeah, McLarens look really cool. I don't know that much about cars, but I do know that McLarens look cool. That's a cool car.
that is really far down on the list on why someone was looking at and thinking about buying a 765 LT. But the thing is, I want Tesla to get better at this. Like, having panel gaps is not good in your cars, and they've had all kinds of notorious build quality issues in the past. As they've aged, they got out of building in a tent, and they've been working towards improving on their way to the likes of the German manufacturers and the others. How do you get around this? And I think really I look at it like this. This is how I look at it right now. If you could buy a Model 3, but you had to trade.
See, here's the thing. While I don't know that much about cars, I really like what he's saying here. I think it's a really good take because there's just a lot of products out there that don't prioritize the right things. Think about, like, say if Tesla did care more about panel gaps, how would they try and prove it? Well, they would have to come up with some sort of metric that they measure themselves on of how good are their panel gaps over time and prioritize that. And I feel like that's so dangerous with companies building products, is when this stupid metric that no one really cares about gets this very high priority, and then you just miss the point, and the people don't like there's all these acronyms and click-through rate and but you gotta realize, like, click through to what, if you have a higher number of people clicking through, yeah, technically you got more people down the funnel, but if they get there and then they don't like it and they leave and they never come back, it's like, well, you didn't really accomplish much. So I like this. This is near and dear to my heart, that it's really important to actually focus on the parts of your product that people care about. So, yeah. Still not that spicy, though. This is not what I came to this video for, but I also like business advice, Marquez. I would also love to see more of that. If you're watching, more business advice, Marquez, but also hot takes video. Maybe just crank up the spiciness a little bit.
Need some other feature from the Model 3 from a different car that's really well built. Like, okay, Tesla Model 3 versus Mustang Mach-E. You could have a Tesla Model 3 with perfect panel gaps. Everything about the build quality of the car looks like it was built by Ford, but you have to trade something with the Ford. You trade Tesla's supercharger network, and you get Ford's public open access charger network. Would you take that, Tesla?
No, sir.
No, actually, I wouldn't, because obviously the supercharger network is a huge part of why people end up buying a Tesla. So, okay, what about you get the perfect Tesla Model 3, but you get the Ford's software? And would you take that? No, I think most people still would probably take the Tesla with the panel gaps. And you just keep going down the list. Would you take the Tesla Model 3 with no panel gaps but trade something else about it? You find performance. Is it the tires? Is it the paint? Something else.
This is actually a really cool structured way to think about prioritizing what matters in your product. I love this.
Else about it. And I think what you'll find is that most people will take the Tesla as is with its current set of features. So basically, I think Tesla's done the math, and they will continue to focus on the things that they believe are reasons why people do buy their cars. So differentiating themselves on the battery technology, on the drivetrains, on supercharger network for that matter, on their software, on all these other things. And the second that panel gaps and manufacturing issues meaningfully impact their bottom line, then, and only then, will they make a large concerted effort towards changing that. Because I think in the meantime, they're just going to slowly improve in the background, and just as they make more cars, they'll get better at it. Now, when I do get around to reviewing my Tesla, will I point out the panel gaps? Sure. But I don't think most people are there to see that. All right, here's my last hot take. Last one.
All right, reel us in. Make it hot.
Is that 5G sucks.
Well, obviously, created a global pandemic that killed millions of people, millions of innocent people. So, yeah, it's not. I would say that. I would say that's not a hot take at all.
It is actually worse than 4G. Like, do you remember the promise of 5G?
Yes. Insults, please. More insults, please. Turn it back up.
5G was it was going to be this amazing thing with this world-changing future. We were going to have blazing fast internet in the palms of our hands everywhere we go, and there's going to be no latency anywhere. There's going to be doctors doing robot surgery halfway around the world with these magic gloves that connect via 5G. Like, all this crazy stuff was going to be promised. Nobody would ever wait for the buffering of a YouTube video ever again, and we'd have the metaverse would finally be real. All these promises of 5G, and it's turned out
that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, none of that's happened. None of that's true yet. Now, not even that is the hot take. I know that, we understand that it takes time to build the infrastructure, and it's just not here yet.
No. Too much nuance. Stop. More insults, less nuance.
I did a video a couple years ago now on the state of 5G and what that meant, and I would go up to a cell phone tower and I would get actually 1 gigabit per second down, but then you'd walk around the corner or behind a tree and you'd get fractions of that speed. And it's like, okay, clearly you need a ton of those antennas to cover the entire world for that to be a real possibility in the future, and there's no way that happens quickly. That's going to require billions and trillions of dollars, so yeah, we're not there yet. Okay, we get it. But what I'm trying to say is 5G right now is worse than 4G.
Yes.
It's slower, it's less consistent, and it's more expensive. There's all these weird shenanigans that they play with, like the status bar in your phone. I've seen on the iPhone like 4G, 4G plus, 5G, 5GE, 5G plus, UWB.
Yeah, see, I don't even look at that. Like, for me, it's just I'm streaming my music. I'm like, if my music stops streaming, then I've got problems. And I feel like I haven't really run into that. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't run into it, because it sounds like a terror.
WB, all these weird titles, and none of them are particularly encouraging. I'll get a 5G logo in the corner of my phone. I'll do a speed test. It'll be slower than 4G. So 5G at this point has really just...
I love this image. It makes me feel like I'm not a real techie, that I don't walk around and occasionally like whip out my phone and just do an internet speed test to see how fast the 5G is. That's incredible.
But really all it's ended up doing is making our phones more expensive, because those radios are more expensive, making our battery lives worse, because now if you don't have 5G, it's switching back and forth, and 5G is radio and battery consuming, and making our phone plans more expensive all at once while giving us not that much of a good experience. So 5G sucks right now. I think also expectations are the thief of joy, and 5G really sucks because the expectations and the promises were like way up here, and we're nowhere near that yet. 5G is brutally bad. Hopefully that changes. I want to be an optimist. I hope a lot of these things change, to be honest. But yeah, those are my hot takes right now.
All right, that was fun. I was hoping maybe for a little bit more spicy, but we started off well. I feel like just, as long as there was at least one crypto bro out there that's never coming back, I think he did his job. And yeah, again, Marquez, if you ever see this, we want more Yeti Marquez in the basement giving business advice. This is fun. I had a good time. See you next time. Bye.